Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of First Look, Final Word, the podcast where we take you along to see a movie with us. I'm Pete.
And I'm Trevor. Thanks for joining us, you semi-retired con artists. Today we're going on a trip to see The Conjuring Last Rites. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one last terrifying case involving mysterious entities they must confront. So no real information there aside from the fact that it's their last.
Yeah, really pushing the boat out on the the formula for these Conjuring movies with that intro there. They're going to investigate some scary stuff. You all know this.
Yeah, like they do and they do their thing. It's another episode of the X-Files.
We can get into that.
Well, so if you've been listening, or even if you haven't been listening, as I'm going to tell you right now, Pete and I, we've been covering all of these Conjuring movies and all the movies in the broader Conjuring universe, all coming to a head to see Conjuring Last Rites.
Yes, if this is your first time listening to us and you downloaded this one because you like The Conjuring, then yeah, I would say go back and check out our opinions. They're probably like only 20 minutes or so every episode while we've been doing the past few, last 7 or 8 episodes or something? Maybe, because we doubled up a couple, right? So
yeah, and I'd say as a whole, we've been very positive on the Conjuring movies, less positive on the surrounding universe movies.
Yeah, some are better than others, but yeah, generally they're not so great. So today we've got the last two, right? The last two that have come out before this new one we're going to be covering. So yeah, we're going to talk about 3 Conjuring movies today.
Honestly, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be sickening.
Yes. I guess.
Unless you enjoy listening to hear us talk, and then it's all good.
If you hate the Conjuring universe, then I'm sorry about this week, but there you go. maybe just tune in next week.
So at the end of this episode, Pete and I will be revealing what the next project we're going to be taking on starting next week. So even if you don't want to listen to our review of Conjuring the Last Rites because you don't want it spoiled, we'll maybe put a time code in there to let you know, and you can hear what our project will be for next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Well, it's not going to be a secret either. We want people to listen to the show, so we'll say it in other avenues. But
it's probably in the episode description at this point.
Yeah, well,
maybe not.
But maybe just like one scroll away from the time code, so that if people want to hear us tell them,
we'll just put a cryptic clue in the episode description just to whet the appetite.
Okay, so should we action out this review?
Yeah, let's do it.
First, I guess, is The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
The Devil Made Me Do It. Yes, that was.
I'm not sure who has been making them do it this whole time. It wasn't been the devil, I guess.
Well, yeah,
his various minions.
Yeah, I guess this is specifically though about like the defense, right? That's what he's saying. I don't think anyone's ever said it wasn't me. It was the devil. like normally, it's like, oh, that guy's definitely possessed.
Well, back in the day, if you said the devil made me do it, that was an easy way for you to just like get burned at the stake.
I'll get thrown into a sanatorium. Is that a sanatorium, right?
Yeah, we're talking about very different eras, though.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we're talking not those witch trials.
So going into this one, I didn't really know what it was about, and then I saw like the opening text scroll. It says it's like the first case that someone used this as a defense.
Yeah, which can't be true, but I mean, I guess it's probably the most. Maybe time it was widely
accepted as a case, and I didn't really look this up, but
I didn't either.
Did the Warrens actually have anything to do with this case?
I mean, I think what I've learned from a lot of these movies is that they barely had any impact in any of these things. It was just like tangentially, they were like, oh yeah, they knew about it. Oh yeah, they mentioned it in an interview or whatever. But then in the movie, it's like, oh no, they were there 100% of the time. So I would be surprised if maybe they were brought in as like expert witnesses or something in the case. But I feel like other than that, they weren't doing as much as they were doing in this movie. But we don't care about that.
Well, when the movie's starting, it kind of starts towards like what would be the climax of a different Conjuring movie.
True.
Where like it's starting with the exorcism, and like they directly referenced The Exorcist with
they definitely did.
the
When
priest
pulling
pulling
up
up
with the
and walking to the house
at the street light and stuff. Yeah, that was definitely
but then that
very
character's
overt nod.
that character is not important at all. So it's just
It's like, oh, who's this? They're introducing this priest character. Oh, he's just a priest.
it's such a strange because they're like, oh, okay, we're doing the exact same thing we did with Max von Sydow in The Exorcist, but like this guy is like totally ineffective as a priest, and he does not matter as a character at all.
On the head, and then you don't really see him again. Yeah, that was definitely just like, oh, that was a huge wink at the fans, and like other than that, it means nothing towards this movie. And apart from it's a very nicely composed shot, so why not just steal it?
The series has not like been subtle in its finding inspiration from The Exorcist either. It seemed a little strange to do it with like
what is this, like the 7th movie or whatever, and then they find like, hey, guess what we're referencing?
Yeah, we like The Exorcist.
Yeah, it's like you guys like it too. Like,
that's a really good movie.
Yeah, it is a very good movie.
But once the guy asks the demon to take possession of his soul first, like, and that's also referencing The Exorcist, except that guy doesn't jump out a window. Or spoiler for The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Then it goes to what seems like it's going to be a legal drama, and then
a little bit, yeah.
And then I'm like, what an interesting decision, like to go that route, and then it didn't go that route at all.
Yeah, and that's kind of that was a bit of the reaction I had to this whole movie. It was a bit like it felt like they knew they wanted to do something a little different and maybe a little fresher, because like we said, we are like 7 movies into this Conjuring universe now, and just doing another exorcism and another haunted house thing is kind of a bit overdone. But they never really went for it. They just kind of toyed with it.
Well, because it seemed like they were going to go for the format where like they had to provide a defense. So then they're going through their old notes, and it flashes back to them going to the case for the first time, which would have been interesting. But then they just abandoned that flashback stuff immediately. Like the only, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only flashback we really got was the kid on the waterbed.
Yeah.
Like, did anything else happen via flashback and them looking at their files?
That's a good point, because they did that whole thing where they're in the house and then does the flashback, and then
like, let's go back to the beginning and then skip to the end again where we are.
I guess I missed it when I was watching it, but you're totally right. They just kind of abandoned that whole conceit and was like, yeah, we're not doing any more of that. It was just set up for them to be at the house.
Well, like, I don't know, like, are they thinking that like this format would have been too hard, and so they just abandoned it? Because it seems so strange, because I was actually into that idea of them doing something a little bit different, because we don't need to see the first Conjuring movie again.
No.
Which is like this movie is a little different in that there's a human antagonist, which I ended up liking that part of it, but I think that would have been more interesting if they had stuck to that format.
Yeah, well, I kind of felt like they were definitely trying to do something different with this one, but it felt to me like it had gone through a ton of rewrites.
It must have.
Where they were like, oh, well, that's not working, let's try this. And it kind of felt like 2 or 3 different ideas kind of stuck together, because I felt like the middle part was it's funny because you mentioned X-Files earlier, and I was like, it seemed like they were doing an X-Files episode. It was like, we're detectives investigating this.
Yes.
And like they're walking around the woods looking at like clues and stuff. And I was like, this is like an X-Files episode.
Well, she's never really been like used as a medium in this exact way.
But that's exactly it, because then that was like the third thing I felt they were trying. They were like, oh, they're doing like the police using a medium to track down murders, which they've done in other movies. It reminded me of like The Gift.
Yeah,
the whole Sam Raimi, which I really liked. And I was like, yeah, so now they're trying to do this where it's like, oh, it's a medium who they're using to find missing people, which is kind of weird, because that's kind of out of nowhere. That's not really what this film was about until now. And then I was like, and they're not really doing anything exciting with that. And then like, oh, now there's a giant blob lady trying to attack him. It was a bit all over the place, I thought, to be honest. A bit uninspired, so.
Yeah, and like there's stuff that I like in it. Like,
definitely.
I love the 2 main performances.
They always save these movies.
They really do, and like they're
so missed when there's like one of the spin-offs, and then they crowbar him in for a 30-second
first scene to get a phone call. But like the one part of this movie I liked a tremendous amount was when they're in the room with the detectives, and the detective's giving her like a psychic test.
Okay, yeah.
And then Ed is like, my wife's powers are not a sideshow attraction. And she's like so defensive, and then she's just like, is this one?
He's like,
which like, if that was the only psychic like nonsense they had done, like I would have liked that a lot more. But here she's like channeling like dead spirits to kind of like to get to like transmutate her form over to a different location and stuff.
It was very odd. It was very odd. And honestly, I was even with all that, I was still kind of with it, and I did find it interesting. It was like, oh, it's actually like you said, it's like an actual normal human protagonist who's like causing all this to happen, and like that's never really had that before. But then like the whole end sequence where they go to the guy's house and it's like the creepy basement tunnels and they're running around, I was like, this is lame. I hated that so much. It just felt like every generic like, oh, we're in a creepy old crypt and we're running around and there's a creepy altar. I was like, this is just like, I've seen this a million times before, and I don't even watch horror movies.
Well, the only thing surprising about that stuff is that John Noble wasn't the bad guy. Like, because when they went to his house for the first time, like,
proper grief.
How was it not this guy right here? Like, this ex-priest who's just fascinated with the occult somehow is not involved with this whatsoever.
Yeah, but like, I did appreciate that twist where it was like, it was his daughter, and like his obsession had kind of like turned her onto it, and he was like riddled with guilt about it or whatever.
Well, it is very interesting how they went to his basement, and then you're asking the question, how is what this guy is doing different than what the Warrens have done, and like collecting this weird crap that
he's just got it all locked away in his creepy room, right?
And it was really interesting that like the line where, you know, we have to like worry about what we're going to be passing on to our children.
Yes,
but that just
pointed because they have a kid, right?
That just made me think that like, why wasn't their kid part of this plot at all?
It seemed like it's like, oh, we're missing something. Is this actually about like how we pass our stuff on to our kids? Because they haven't set that up at all, and they didn't mention it again afterwards.
Well, because like the last Annabelle,
maybe that's what this new movie's about.
Like it could be, but the last Annabelle movie was all about the daughter, and all about how like they're putting their daughter in danger by having all this stuff in their house, and then the daughter has maybe one scene in this movie where she's like,
I don't even remember her being in it.
Where it's when Ed's waking up and she's like, Dad, and then he's like, let me talk to your mom.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And that's the only part
in the hospital. I remember now. Yeah,
that's the only part that the daughter is in it. You have to think that was right for thematic exploration.
Yeah,
their relationship with their daughter, how that's different from that guy's relationship with their daughter.
That's when I go back to like, there's got to have been a version of this script where the daughter was in it way more, and they just kind of jettisoned it for the like, no, we need more like psychic detective stuff.
Well, and the central point of this case is that lover boyfriend who killed his boss / roommate or whatever.
That was a pretty weird situation they had going on.
I really don't understand that living situation.
It was the 70s though, wasn't it? Was it the 70s still? I
think this is 81.
I got confused with the years.
I think this is 81.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Her outfit is definitely 70s. Right? I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But like that's what's supposed to be interesting about the movie, but the movie is not really focused on them at all. Like
it kind of like it started with that, and then it kind of sidelined that, and then kind of wrapped up at the end with that. But yeah, I know what you mean. It was a bit like I got a bit confused. Not to go too far off tangent, but I got a bit confused with why this girl was doing it, and maybe they explained it and I've just forgotten. But like I'm trying to remember why the woman was like cursing these people in the first place. What was her beef? Do you remember?
Well,
because like
John Noble says that the Satanist goal is to cause chaos. I don't know what it was about those people in particular.
Very specifically, like hit it underneath that house, and it's like, why that person?
Were they trying to draw the Warrens into it? Was that what she was trying to do? Because if she was, I think I missed it.
Yeah, and that would be a horrible plan. Like they're literally probably the only people who are going to follow your plans. Like maybe don't entice them into it. This is honestly my biggest problem with all of these movies. Is I can never understand what the objective is of any of them, like demons or bad people. And I guess maybe there isn't, and it's just to sow chaos and cause fear. But to me, I'm just like, they seem like very specifically needed to do it in this very specific way, but there's no real reason why.
I think this lady just thinks that, you know, Satan's cool and she wants to impress him.
That's fair.
Or whatever, and then she bit off more than she could chew.
Yeah.
She got sucked into hell.
I guess so. I guess there doesn't need to be a reason why she picked those people. It's just maybe she just didn't like them.
I'm sure there is, but it escapes me.
Yeah. Maybe I just needed like a one scene of them being dicks to her for whatever reason.
Not to harp on this point too much, but
Hop on, Trevor.
When Ed and Lorraine are talking to, Buddy's defense attorney, I don't remember
Right.
I don't remember that the guy's name is, but
I don't think I was going to judge you for that.
the defense attorney says, we can't say the devil made him do it because that's never been done before successfully.
Yeah.
And they say, if we can take you to our house and introduce you to Annabelle and convince you, then you have to agree to it. If not, we'll leave you alone. Just hard cut to, like, they're filing the plea, not guilty by reason of demonic possession. It would have been interesting to see, like, how they would convince a layperson that all this stuff is real. Yeah. That's what would have been interesting about a trial. Yes. Because these movies have always been playing with, is this real or
exactly.
Is this not real? Is this a hoax or where do skeptics kind of fall into this one? And then this movie seems like it's ramping up to be all about that, and then it's not about that at all.
That's a really great point, actually.
It skips the trial. It skips the trial.
It really does. Does skip the trial.
The movie is about the first person to ever plea demonic possession. Then ... guilty of manslaughter. So I guess it's like a half victory. How did they get him just to be guilty of manslaughter? Not
did they
not
even show any
murder.
Testimony or anything?
No, they showed them filing a not guilty plea.
They showed him getting sentenced, right? That was it. Yeah, that is kind of weird. Because you'd have to assume there was a lot of testimony about, I was a prison guard and he was floating and shit in the air. He was definitely possessed. That would have been interesting to see.
This is an open and shut case, Your Honor.
It's we've got at least 30 people here who've got fully eyewitness to see stuff that you can't explain. Yeah, you make a really great point because they definitely didn't do any of that. And I think there's a different movie they maybe even were planning to make and then ended up not doing it, or maybe should have made or could have made, that I think might have been a bit more interesting.
Maybe your point to the rewrites is they were intending for it to be more of a movie that we're describing, but then they panicked and wanted it to be a little more conventional, because it does end up being conventional.
And honestly, that might have been a good decision from the accountant's perspective.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like we know what works with these movies. They make a lot of money because people want to see shit happening with scary stuff. And if we just have them. If we just throw a movie at them, this all courtroom drama, people might get mad. We don't want to mess with this universe too much.
What's impressive about The Conjuring 2 and Annabelle Comes Home is that they found ways to make it a little different while still delivering to the core reason of why people like this movie. Conjuring 2, they put a mystery on top of it, which in my opinion makes it the best of these movies.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. I think it was the best.
And I think we were a little more divided on Annabelle Comes Home, but I think we like the core concept anyways of Annabelle stirring up shit in the Warrens' house.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel I don't know if you ever heard Netflix have this really set thing that you have to hit. They have
within the first 30 seconds.
They have it even time for by X time, this has to have happened and this has to have hooked. I feel maybe they have a Conjuring playbook where they're there needs to be this many different demons and there needs to be this many different jump scares. And I feel they had the first draft of this and was there's not enough in this. The
data says that you're going to lose eyeballs.
Yeah, you need another scary thing. And okay, how about a deceased, bloated girl? And they're sure, write that in.
Yeah, how about, a zombie?
Yeah, it's sure, that's fine. That kind of works, right? So they just literally wrote that whole section of the missing girl into it because it kind of felt a bit why do we need this? But I don't know. I mean, it was still good. Still scary enough, I suppose.
And I'm just distracted by this person going 20 kilometers under the speed limit.
Yeah, just drive safe, Trevor.
We're driving to the theater for real, guys.
Yeah.
So this is the last time we saw Ed and Lorraine before this movie?
Yes. And I feel because that one would be considered the third one of the Conjuring movies, right? You'd have to.
Well, because Annabelle Comes Home is sort of the third one, but it's sort of its own thing because the Warrens are there at the beginning and the end, but they'll leave during the middle, so they're not really the main characters.
I just kind of found interesting that they strayed away from the Conjuring 3, which I guess makes sense, but it just I feel how much Ed and Lorraine needs to be in the movie for it to be considered part of their story, because I feel all of these they've kind of crowbarred to be part of their story, but most of them they're not really in, apart from a scene. But this one was definitely them, I suppose, right? So
Well, this one's Last Rites, so I wonder what they're
new
gonna
one.
do, like after these actors say that they don't want to do these
Yeah,
movies
that's
anymore.
that's got to be it, right? I mean, I've not read any of the industry scuttlebutt about it or any of this.
Well, apparently this is supposed to be the last one.
I'm assuming that they were like, "We'll do one more and then we're done."
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it won't be the end of the Conjuring universe.
they're still gonna do Nun movies.
Yeah,
They'll probably still do Annabelle movies. I don't know if anything's
I mean,
planned.
they've teed up a lot of stuff, so they could do a lot of different spin-offs. From
could-
what I've seen so far, this one is like sold more tickets than I've seen a movie sell for a while.
Yeah, this one's doing really well.
Yeah.
We're seeing it the Saturday of opening weekend,
Yeah.
so pretty fresh. I haven't seen any reviews at all.
Sold out theater, I think it is, which doesn't.
We're not even sitting beside each other.
No, almost didn't get tickets.
So I can lie to you if I got spooked by a jump scare.
Yeah. The person next to me is just gonna have to hold my hand instead of Trevor this week. So this is actually I think this is good. Yeah, this will be the first Conjuring movie I will have seen in a crowd. Never mind.
Yeah, because
like got a big multiplex.
Because neither of us had seen any prior to this
like,
project,
going into
right?
this, yeah, watching them all like scared out my mind at home, like nobody to feed energy off of. So I'm wondering how many screams are going to be. That's what I like. When my favorite experiences of horror movies have been in big crowds where like everyone's like screaming and doing that like nervous laughter to sort of dissipate the tension when you do a jump scare. But I haven't been to one for a while, so I'm looking forward to it.
That for whatever reason that reminded me of a mistake that I made in a previous episode.
Good intentions.
I said that Patrick Wilson directed the third Conjuring movie, which is not true. He directed the most recent Insidious movie, which he's also a star in, and I always get those confused in my head.
I think I've seen one of those because I was like, isn't there a scene where like he goes into a weird? And I think that was from that movie.
I've not seen any of the Insidious movies, so maybe we'll do that next year.
We'll do that next time there's an Insidious movie out,
which could be next month for all I know. I have no idea.
True enough, me neither.
Do you want to talk the Nun II?
Yeah, I guess we should talk about the Nun II.
I'm not excited to talk about it either.
I'm really baffled by why they even bothered with this one, if I'm being totally honest with you.
You know why.
I mean, I'm sure it made a bunch of money, and everyone was clamoring to see what happened with Sister Irene after the last Frenchie.
I remembered Frenchie. I did not remember Sister Irene. That was her name.
You know what's hilarious, though? Not hilarious, but I guess I don't know if it says more about me or about this non-movie, is that when I started watching this movie last night, actually, I was watching the movie and I think I just forgot most of what happened in the first one because I was like, why are we following this Maurice guy? Like, just because he was in the first movie, I don't care what. This guy's
you didn't
doing.
remember that he got
and I was
possessed?
Like, oh wait, no, he's supposed to be possessed. It took me a minute to remember. And I was like, oh crap, yeah, he's the guy that the Warrens like are supposed to do the exorcism on.
I think it's a pretty big mistake that they had Frenchie be part of this movie because it's a pretty clear line between the nun and the Conjuring universe.
Exactly.
We sort of made fun of it a little bit, like why they thought it was such a mic drop that this Frenchie guy was the guy from
they
Conjuring.
Had done the best like bait and switch in history of movies or something when they did that.
But like why is he in the story? Like who cares?
Yeah, it felt. Well, I mean, I guess
he's going to get more possessed by Valak, and then a little less, and then a little more.
I get it, but I think that was, they kind of paid. That's why I was like, I think that was a bit like I don't know why they made this movie because, like you said, it's like they already made the connection at the end of the first one to the Conjuring, so they're going to do another one in between. It's kind of like we know how this has to end, basically the same way the first movie ends. So it's just going to be a bunch of shit happens and for no reason. Like, okay, sure.
This is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the Conjuring movies.
You said that, and that's so weird that you said that because there was a scene in this movie where Maurice is chasing the girl, Sophie, or whatever her name is, and like he can't catch her, and I was like, this is totally Obi-Wan.
Oh, wow, okay, that's like, so you had the same thought.
Mind last night, I was like, this is like that scene from Obi-Wan where they couldn't catch the girl, and it was like, oh no, a tree has fallen in front of me, and we also just gonna have to climb over.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
No, it's just hilarious how you mentioned that, because I was like, wow, I literally was thinking about Obi last night. That's so funny.
Just like as the basic concept of that series where nothing of consequence can actually happen.
And that's a problem. An inherent problem with prequels anyway, but when you're not even expanding it at all and it's just like, nope, it's just these same characters, you're like, well, we know where they end up, so there's no peril anymore. I'm not really concerned what happens to what's her face from Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, his love interest in this one.
Right.
She was in the Narnia movie.
I don't. Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Not a fan of the Nani movies. I think she was like Susan or one of the girls.
I like the first one, and I love Tilda Swinton in that first movie, obviously. I don't really like. I've seen all like
I don't think
just the two sequels for that.
I don't think I watched any of the sequels, to be honest, and I don't know why, because I quite like that.
I don't really remember, aside from like the kids get stuck in there for like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
is that the sequel or is that the first one?
That's the end of the first one, I believe.
Is it? Okay.
Because they've grown up in Narnia. Then when they come find the wardrobe again, they've only been gone like an hour or whatever.
Okay, so that was all in the first movie.
Yeah, that's how the first movie ended, I think.
But like Aslan dying is a different movie, right? Where they have to resurrect him. No. Is that the first one?
Yeah, he does the whole sacrifice thing in the first one, right?
Now I'm starting to think
he gives himself up for their sins, Trevor.
I'm trying to think if I've seen. I know I've seen the sequels. What the hell happens in those?
Maybe
movies?
Maybe the sequels were a prequel. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, they're redoing those movies, so we'll figure it out. Anyway, we're not here to talk about
with Greta Gerwig, so they're going to be good at least. So,
right, but you would think that's going to be interesting.
Anyways, we don't really want to talk about.
We're going way off the track. You can tell how much we want to talk about the Nun II. But the other thing is, like, it was basically the same movie as the first one.
Yeah, like they're using like a saint's blood.
Yeah, it's like a MacGuffin.
Christ's blood.
No, it wasn't the blood. It was her eyeballs.
Yeah, it's her.
Which I was like, that is a choice. It's like I was waiting for them to open the little box and just like pull the little eyeballs out. Oh, I think I would have really respected them if they did. Like, here, you take one eyeball, I'll take the other.
And the movie says that Irene is related to this.
Yes, that's
saint,
the big reveal in this one, right? There's like it's all bloodlines.
Yeah,
because I think weren't they trying to make out that she's also related to the Warrens?
Yeah, she's well. I think it was hinting at that. I don't know if it said it explicitly, but that's sort of what I was saying.
Like, if not directly, like part of that line.
Yeah, they both. You know, it's like the Da Vinci Code thing where everyone's related to Jesus.
It's like the seed was spread everywhere, and it's like all these people who are clairvoyant are all actually related to this.
Was I not saying that like should be a thing from the last time from when we saw the Nun?
Yeah, I'll say you were.
I stupidly said like, oh, maybe that's her mom because I do remember because I was getting confused about the timeline.
Yeah, you were saying they looked a bit similar, right? Yes.
Well, because it's your real life sister.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. I think that's what you mentioned. Yeah, last time I remember that. It's all coming back to me.
It's like, I'm glad that she's found consistent work or whatever, right? But this movie just didn't need to exist. And I think we already said that about the first Nun movies, that this movie didn't need to exist because it's not the beginning of Valak's story and it's not the end. Like, it's just a middle chapter.
And I felt like they learned the lesson way too late from the first movie, where it's like they showed the Nun way too much in the first one. So in this one, they're like, we're going to hold back showing the Nun. You're not going to see her that much. And it's like, it's too late, man. We've already seen her way too much.
Yeah.
So when they did the reveal, and it's like, yeah, I've seen that a lot.
But we really didn't see her hardly at all.
No, like she wasn't in it at all, much at all. That's what I mean. That's what they should have done in the first movie. But I feel like the horses had already left the barn on that one. So it was a bit like, yeah, I don't really care. And I wasn't really jiving with that devil thing that was running around. It seemed like the dumbest demon.
Yeah, what did it have a name?
No, I don't think so. I looked it up and then because I was like, is that supposed to be the same one, like the goat one that has Annabelle?
But they were
like, I was like,
no, I don't think so.
Totally different. No, I was just like, it's dark and it's got horns. They're like, is it the same thing? Like, no, it's not anything like it, you idiot.
It's like a Black Phillip thing or whatever. I don't know.
It's supposed to be like the devil himself, like so. But I love in these movies how I can't get my head around the power sets of these things because like at the start, Valak's just like
they lift a guy up in the air and set him on fire.
Set him on fire, and like totally annihilating people, breaking their bones and killing them and stuff. And then
that guy was a priest too. He had
in a church. She did that, and then all of a sudden it's like we're just gonna hide behind this short wall and then we'll be fine. It's like, all right.
And bring Annabelle into it. Like they encase her in like glass from a cathedral, but like Valak can just do whatever she wants in a church.
It doesn't make any sense. This is what I want to talk to you about because this was bugging me. I even looked it up last night and I couldn't find anything. So they make the point that if Valak is able to obtain the holy eyeballs, then he'll have unbeknownst power and have the power that he had when he was an angel or whatever, and it will be like,
oh yeah, we didn't even mention that.
It will be like the worst thing ever that will happen. We cannot let him get these eyeballs, and the whole movie is about we need to find these eyeballs, make sure Vi doesn't get the eyeballs, and then he gets the eyeballs. And I was like, oh, well, he's got the eyeballs now. They must be in a lot of trouble. But no, not really. What powers did he get that were so scary that he didn't have previously?
The power of sight.
To fire. The power he seemed to get was to set her on fire, which he'd already done.
Yeah.
And it didn't even work. And then he was
That's a really good point.
And then they were like, we're just going to bless this wine and then somehow make it explode all over you. And that'll be enough to kill you, even though you have the powerful eyeballs and you are now an angel. So it shouldn't bother you at all.
Well,
I was so confused as to what I was supposed to have done because it didn't seem to do anything.
I have a possible explanation for it.
Please explain it because it was just bugging me so hard, and I just want some sort of headcanon that I can just explain away so I can stop thinking about it.
Well, because the Catholic Church was notorious back in the day for just making up the fact that like we have the remains of this saint.
Okay,
and so they were like there were 20. St. Peter's real heart that we have in this church or whatever. I think that's just some random eyeballs.
Okay, but they were glowing and like it worked when Sister Irene used them on
injected with radiation.
Oh, okay. Maybe they were just some less holy eyeballs.
It worked for Irene because she's an actual descendant and she just needed to believe.
You know why it worked for Irene?
They're like the magic feather.
Because she said that all it is faith. That's what makes it reality, right?
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah, like the feather from Dumbo.
If you believe they're magic eyeballs, then they will be magic eyeballs.
But Valak is not. She has no faith.
It seemed like I just still don't understand what anybody's motivation is. Like, what is Valak trying to do? They told us in this movie that she's trying to find these eyeballs. They found those eyeballs very, very easily. With the same sort of technique that they used in the first movie to find stuff. It's like, oh, it's just a reflection from this light, and no pointing at it, and we'll just dig it up. There we go, we got it.
Well, we've glazed over the fact that they killed off the priest between movies, right? Yeah. That this guy just didn't want to come back for. And
it felt like, I was like, what happened to the priest? Contract negotiations.
He died of cholera.
He died going back to his home planet. Yeah. It's like, oh my word, they pooched him.
We're bringing back the classic duo of Irene and Frenchie. Yeah. Because the priest did not want to come back.
Because I kind of liked him from the first movie.
Yeah, he was good.
He was pretty. I like that actor. He's pretty good.
Frenchie was the weakest part of the first movie.
Well, I don't think his character was written to be that interesting. He was just a generic himbo, idiot.
Just a horny Quebecer, right? Like that's
yeah. So the other thing, why was like half of the people speaking in French accents, and the other, then one of them was British, and then one of them seemed Irish.
That always bothers you when that.
But it's just like, just pick a lane, man. Like, I don't care which one you choose, but like,
I think we all have agreed a long time ago that any strange accent is just done by a British actor. Like, I was happy with that arrangement.
But like, they didn't need to do any French accents then.
No.
They had like 3 characters do French accent, and then one character just literally speak French with subtitles. I was like, please just pick a lane. Like,
you're like, what are we, the viewers, supposed to be seeing as reality?
That's what I mean. I don't mind if they're just going to be like, they've all just got weird accents. Just go with it. I'm like, all right, that's fine. But when you just like throw in like, well, now that she's definitely speaking French for some reason. Are these the actual French people and these people are speaking English? Like, I don't want to be thinking about that when I'm watching these movies. Just tell me what it is.
Just really makes you think about the Hunt for Red October. Yeah, how they absolutely just nailed.
It's the best way to do it.
Well, and like when
was there a movie recently that just totally stole that?
I feel like we covered something, and then they basically did that trick. But like, why not do that when these two characters are together? They're going to be speaking in English, but we know that they're actually speaking in their native language, right? But then when they're with other people, then they're speaking French, right? And the fact that you can't understand them is part of the plot.
Sister Irene was supposed to be English, though, right? Wasn't she in London in the first movie?
Yeah, she was in London from the first movie. I don't know if she's supposed to be British.
Where was she in this movie? She was just in... Was she in America in this movie? Because she's with that girl from Mississippi.
Yeah, I think she's from America. I think.
Like at the start of this movie when the priest comes and hires her, where are they in France? Who cares? It doesn't matter.
I can't.
It's not important.
I can't remember now. I watched this one first by accident.
Oh, really?
Because I just assumed
Yeah,
that the Nun 2
it's
came
too
out.
fresh in my mind. Yeah, it was a bit weird because I thought the Nun 2 would have come out before the other one, but it didn't. But anyway, yeah, so it wasn't that great.
Where would this one rank for you?
Oh,
Like,
it's
do you
tricky.
like it better than the first Nun?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's probably around on par with that. I feel like,
I think I like the first Nun better. Like, it just has better atmosphere.
yeah, but I think they were just basically the same thing in this movie. So
Yeah.
if you could remove all knowledge of seeing the first movie and just watch this one, I don't know if I would like it more, but probably not. I think to your point, I think yeah, the first one just had and it had the cool priest. Needed him.
Well, yeah, this one, it's not a badly made movie, and
No.
I should say the director of the Nun 2, Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and Conjuring Last Rites is all the same director.
Yeah, I did hear that. He's like the protege, I think.
I think Graves is his last name. Let me just double check. Yeah, Michael Chavez.
Oh, okay.
Or how would you say that? Chavez?
Chaves.
Chaves?
It's not Chaves.
Depends if he's British or Mexican, I guess.
Mickey Chaves.
I'm very sorry. This has to be offensive. This has to be offensive to somebody, right?
To everybody that I just offended.
Yeah, I've honestly, I just read that name for the first time today.
There's no like accent on it when you're looking on IMDb there, so it's hard to say.
That's true. Well, he could have anglicized it too.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway, I
Michael C.
I am looking forward to this one though. I'm really interested to see where they go with it.
I've got connected to these characters.
Yeah, and I love seeing them actually, so I'm here for it.
Kid, I can understand not wanting to do these movies forever, but
Yeah.
and Jamie Lee Curtis sort of does her thing forever. So
That's true. Well,
Like-
I'm wondering if this is going to be like the end game of the Conjuring Universe.
oh, like this is where Ed dies.
Yeah, and like they have to fight like all the demons that you've seen so far, and they bring
I see.
bring everybody back. Like they get Sister Irene's daughter who looks exactly like her. Or something, or and they just like a bunch of portals,
Like a
open,
portal, yeah.
and they all just jump on.
You know what though? I think there's something to the idea that there's going to be a demonic team up or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that might be too silly if they do that, but I wouldn't put it past them. I'm honestly thinking maybe they just really take it right down and just have a new
right.
like demon that comes and they just really have to deal with this new scary demon.
Yeah, maybe it'll just be straight down the middle, but I still think like Patrick Wilson is definitely dying in this. Like it. Like,
yeah. Well,
like
did Ed Warren die? Like in real life?
Well, I know it was just Lorraine Warren who was consulting on these movies because he had died at some point. I don't know if it's going to be in the 80s when this movie takes place or what, but
I purposely didn't really look that up in case they were going to try and like tie that in.
But if he might do the Iron Man thing and die in this one, that's my prediction.
Well, they were laying it on a bit thick in the last one, and the devil made me do it. And he was like, he's having multiple heart attacks, and he's like, can barely get around.
But he can throw that sledgehammer around, though.
He's doing all right for someone who just had a cardiac arrest, to be honest. It's like, I could barely walk. It's like, well, you seem to be doing all right. Guess he was supposed to be possessed at that point, but we'll move on.
Well, Pete and I have arrived at the movie theater.
Yeah, we made it.
If you're new to the podcast, we're going to go inside and watch Conjuring Last Rites, then come back and give you spoiler-free reactions to the movie we just watched. Ugh.
To our movie.
To our movie.
We feel like we're part of it now.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm ready for it to be done. I'm really looking forward to this one to just tie it off in a nice way.
We will give you plenty of warning before going to spoiler talk.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
And then, as we said, we're going to talk about our next project at the end of our review.
Yes, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. We're very, very excited about this next one. And then maybe we can get some fans to weigh in on stuff too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll get some fan involvement on that for sure. Anyway, let's go see this one.
Wish us luck.
Bye, guys. Welcome back, everyone. We're on the road, trying to dodge ghosts, and already having just seen The Conjuring Last Rites. That's the name of it, right?
Yeah, or Conjuring. Is it The Conjuring?
Yeah.
Should I?
It's definitely The Conjuring.
At this point, should I ask that question?
Now you got me thinking. No, I guess
It was The Conjuring Last Rites.
There's always the fancy T under the. I remember that. Comes up in big red writing. Yeah, so that's I'm trying to figure out how to talk about it without spoiling too much.
Well, I'll take a stab at it.
Okay, okay.
I quite like this one.
Hmm.
I thought it was a it was a very well done story compared to the last Conjuring movie, which I think got a little messy.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it does a really good job of centering the Warrens in the story,
Mhm.
in addition to this new family, which is like something they've done really well in the first two Conjuring movies.
Hmm.
There is still an element to this movie that I'm a little confused about that I'd like to dig in and talk about with you.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well,
Um,
which we'll get into in our spoiler section, which
but
we will telegraph heavily.
yeah, but overall, I found it very affecting. I think like as like a parent, I found it very affecting too.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good shout.
And this movie just also really highlights how weird it is that Judy wasn't really a character in the last movie when she's basically the main character in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of agree with what you're saying. I quite liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Um, wasn't it wasn't as big or different as it might have been secretly hoping for, but it was a bit more of a let's go back to the well and do what we do very well to sort of tie off our story here, which they did very well. So yeah, not no huge complaints on this one. I thought it was very solid. Like I agree with you. I think it was much better than the last entry. But yeah, it is weird. Like it, this movie played like they were setting Judy up the whole series, but they just forgot to in the last one.
No, they sort of well, like the first one, Judy's like ends up playing a pretty big part
Yeah,
without them kind of realizing it.
yeah, yeah,
And then the second one, they're like, peace, we're gonna go to England. We'll talk to you later.
yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Which makes sense, I suppose. They're not going to cart her along.
then Annabelle comes home. It's kind of all about her.
Yeah, yeah,
And then Conjuring Devil Made Me Do It. Like I said, I think she gets one line.
yeah,
And then this one, it's like, it's always been about Judy the whole time. Didn't you
yeah.
know that?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So that was a bit odd, but I mean, take it on face value. Just take the movie for what it
Yeah.
is. You can't judge it because of past movies. But no, I thought it was decent scares. I thought it was much scarier than The Devil Made Me Do It. It got me. Don't know if that was just because we're in the audience, although
There was,
I
yeah.
did not enjoy it as much. It might have just been the audiences that we always seem to get, but I was mostly just annoyed by the other people in the crowd.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. I had mostly a quiet corner of my part of the theater because
Yeah, we went set together, so
yeah, I was sitting next to this couple who were very locked into the movie. So,
yeah,
you know,
I was not next to people like that. So
was there a whistle at one point? Did you hear that?
I thought I heard a whistle, but I didn't know if it was a part of the movie or it was someone in the screen. I did see the guy, a staff member, come in to check off the like
He did that like 5 times.
turn his. I only saw him once because it was in like a really tense, like scary bit, and he just like turns his flashlight on and starts writing on the fucking screen, and
Yeah,
on
he
like
was
signing off that it was
in and out a few times.
I was
Man. I
like,
don't know what that
what are
was.
you doing there, guy? No, there was one particular bit towards the start where something happens on screen, and the lady next to me was like, "Oh, it's that," and then she took out her phone and took a picture.
What?
Yeah, and I was like,
Okay,
I was like,
you have to tell
"Seriously?"
me what exact moment that was.
I don't even really remember, but it was just like a character was on screen, and she was like, "Oh, I know that character," and then took a picture. And I was like, "Seriously? Like, what are you doing with that picture?" And the people coming in late with their flashlights on, the brightest flashlight on their phone I've ever seen in my life,
Yeah,
trying to find their seats.
Our showing started at 9:10, and people were coming in past
Late.
9:30.
Yeah, real
Like
late.
multiple people, and
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever been quite that late to the movie
yeah.
before.
And the person in the like over to my left in the row in front of me just decided to start scrolling through his notifications like an hour and a half into the movie. I
Wow.
just find it so distracting. Yeah.
No, because we were deciding like, hey, which one of us going to take this seat? Which one of us going to take this seat?
Yeah, you got the
last
best seat,
last
thanks.
minute we decided to switch the seats we had intended on.
Yeah.
So sounds like I really lucked out.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad, but just stuff like that, just kind of just like it annoys me, especially when in something like this where it's like quite immersive, uh, and like the little giggles and like which always happens in horror movies when people giggle because it's because of tension and they're trying to relieve the tension because they're scared. I mean, I get that, but it's just sometimes I find it a bit annoying.
Well, a person scrolling through their phone
Yeah, that was
during a horror movie, I don't get that at all.
yeah.
Why bother coming
Yeah, because at first I was
to
like,
the movie?
what is this person actually looking at? And then I realized they were just like literally going through their notifications, and they had like freaking 50 of them, and I was like, can't wait for 30 minutes, mate. Like,
That's super annoying. Well, I'm sorry you had that
yeah,
experience.
no, it didn't ruin the movie or anything. It was just like made me realize that I don't always like a busy theater, especially like that's not like a premium seat and stuff. You have to sit with the riffraff, Trevor. You know what
We
I'm saying?
did kind of
You know
sit
what I'm
with the
saying?
riffraff, yeah.
Don't get that in IMAX.
Yeah.
That you do.
Yeah, you're paying 20 bucks a seat,
Yeah,
right? So
you're not gonna look.
you're locked
You're not
in.
gonna scroll through your messages when you've just paid.
Well, there was one scene that like really got me. That got me to jump.
Yeah,
And
there was one.
it surprised
I
me.
don't even remember which one it was, but there was one where, and there was a. I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple of times where I was literally like looking through my fingers because I had them on my face.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was just like,
What?
oh no, I can't stand this. I think this movie really did a better job. I thought that of like not just hey look here's a scary nun or whatever. They did a great job of holding it back and just like making it terrifying, which we can get into more because then usually by the end of these movies you have the ghost running around, and that's when I started getting less scary, which kind of happens again. But that's not really a spoiler for these things. I feel like that's every single one of these movies I've said that. So, but no, solid. I thought it was very solid.
Well, I have a secret theory about what this movie's about.
Ooh, Trevor keeps throwing out these special
this-
theories. It's like a new segment. We're gonna have to come up with a theme song for this bit.
Well,
Trevor's secret theory.
this one's kind of a joke.
Oh, okay. They're not all of them.
This is a horror movie about moving furniture.
It did make me think that, at certain points, it's like I've been there. I know what that's like.
No, I got this big armoire in my bedroom that like I've had my whole adult life, and everywhere I've moved, I've had to move it in and out.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's why I've said I'm never moving again.
Yeah.
And
I think everyone has that piece of furniture.
Yeah,
to be fair.
this movie reminded me of like moving like a really heavy antique piece of furniture.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Is it a spoiler to say what the thing is? The piece of furniture we're referring to.
We can say a mirror. I think it's fine.
Because the design of the mirror, I had a very similar mirror in my, like, that was our thing that we used to cart around every time we moved, even though we've not moved that many times. But it was a big, ornate, wooden designed mirror. It wasn't like a full length mirror. It was like a mirror you'd put on like a dresser. Right. But it was huge and heavy, and the scenes of them moving the mirror in this, I was like, I've been there so many times moving a giant wooden mirror that's just like bulky and annoying. So yeah.
I mean, you weren't the guy pulling the car around? You were one of the guys moving this?
No, I don't drive that regularly.
Why don't you move the car, then move the mirror? That's just what I'm saying.
Oh, we can get into that. We can get into the nitty gritties because this does not get out of the trap of like people making very suspect decisions.
Well, the Warrens are
things.
Warrens are supposed to be smart. They've been through this before.
I think they just are at a point where like it don't really matter what we do. Like it doesn't matter which way we do things because it'll all just go tits up in the end, and we'll just end up screaming with the Bible in our hands. So just do whatever.
It's what it seems like. It seems like there's never.
It's like so it's different every time. He says that in the movie. It's like it's never the same. It's always different.
But it does seem like they're always just stumbling through trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And like by the end, I've never really figured it out either. I don't know if this one was really much different. I mean, I kind of guess I was kind of following it a bit more with this one, but still a bit like, what was the point?
So this one was like a very deliberate goodbye.
Yes.
So like,
it's not really a spoiler. I mean, it was definitely like I think I mentioned it was like it might be like the end game of this universe, and it kind of the ending is a little bit. We're getting to some still.
Can you do a quick Google? Like, was it James Wan making a cameo at the very end there?
Oh,
I don't want to say where, but I think I've watched interviews with him, and I think I saw him in like the last 5 minutes.
Oh, that would be pretty cool if it was, to be honest.
But no, like you could feel this definite like, fondness for the franchise and like a I don't know. It just feels like a goodbye, and I feel kind of like an interloper, and that like I've only been with these characters for like 2 months now, but I feel like I somehow got invited to the goodbye party.
I definitely know what you mean. The ending did have a vibe of like I should be feeling way more feels than I am now. Like I've lived with these characters for decades, but I haven't.
It's like, hey, it's been 15 years. Like,
remember all the good times you've had this month.
You've been, because it's like the Endgame thing. But if you just put
Endgame on after watching a couple of Marvel movies.
Well, but yeah, like you just got into Marvel like a month before Endgame came out or whatever, right? So exactly. You've seen them all, but then you're like, I don't quite feel the history the same way.
No, it's like I watched Iron Man 2 weeks ago. It was James Wan. Good eye.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Yes.
I thought so.
So look out for that, guys.
That was nice. Yeah, well, I guess it's not really a spoiler to say that the producer is going to have a cameo in the movie.
Yeah. Keep an eye out though, because I know where you mean now, because I did think like is he important?
Well, yeah, it lingered on an extra for a long time, and then it kind of clicked in my brain. I just watched an interview with him, and he really does. He seems just like a kid.
Yeah, I was going to say it must be a vampire or something, because he looks like
he's very, very youthful. But I also meant like just like the way he talks
he's exuberant
about movie. Yeah, and like he's just like excited about stuff,
right.
Which is pretty cool for a guy.
That's what you want, right?
Yeah, for a guy who's mostly does horror.
Yeah,
like in horror / action.
Yeah,
I guess just seems like a nice, fun guy.
Yeah. Well, I thought this one was directed quite well. I thought he did a pretty good job.
Well, I think that Michael Chavs. I think he.
Chavez.
And yeah, I think he did La Lorna as well.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But I think he really figured it out this time.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought really well done.
So I think that this would be my third favorite of the Conjuring movies.
Ooh, okay.
But we can get it.
What would you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4?
What's that? Sorry, like for my rankings?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think 2 is my favorite.
2, 1, 4, 3.
2 is my favorite. I think then 1, but this one's pretty close to 1 in my mind.
Yeah,
actually.
I feel like I've watched too many movies now. I'd have to go back and rewatch 1 with like a fresh eye, because when I watched it, it was like I wasn't a big horror guy. I hadn't seen any of these movies, so it probably had more of an effect on me than it would if I watched it now.
Well, what I really appreciate about this movie is what I loved about this franchise was the Warrens.
Yeah.
And this movie, you're spending so much time just getting to hang out with them, and I loved it. I loved that part of it.
I loved it too. To be honest, though, I thought it was to the detriment of like the haunted family part of it.
Well, definitely.
I feel like they made a very specific point, because like if you compare it to say The Conjuring 2, that did a really good job of spending a lot of time with that family, and you really got to know that family.
Yeah.
And but also had a lot of time for the Warrens as well. Whereas this one, because for obvious reasons, it spent way more time with the Warrens, and I felt like the family got a bit shortchanged, and I felt like it took a long time in the movie for them to like get together.
Yeah, like there's probably 2, maybe 3 like really meaty scenes with the family where you get to see how they're kind of acting together and how they're like how they're coping with what's happening.
They did a really great job of showing them the like before and after them dealing with this stuff.
Yeah,
which worked really well. But then they kind of dropped it for like 40 minutes.
Well, the family does really recede into the background in a way that they didn't in the other movies, and I think that's okay. Once we get into spoilers, we can kind of talk about why that may or may not make sense and why it may or may not work. But the format of this movie is a little different. That like the Warrens don't get directly involved in this one until like I think I clocked it at 1 hour 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long time, because that's what I was thinking. I was looking at my watch. I was thinking like, when are they going to get to like the Warrens exorcising a demon from this family here, because they're not even wrapped up yet.
Yeah, well, because the Warrens are semi-retired,
Yes,
which is not a secret going into it.
No.
You find that out 1 minute into the movie, and I love that they reference Ghostbusters like right away. It's so funny.
It was very 80s. I couldn't believe how 80s it was. It was actually it kind of threw me off at the beginning when it drops you in the 80s, because I'm so used to living with these characters as like 60s, 70s era.
Yeah.
And then they dropped me in the 80s, like, oh my, this is like, I remember life being a little, well, obviously I was only 2 at the time, but like, it was more like references that I'm aware of.
It's funny because they still, like, the Warrens still dress like it's the 60s, right? And especially Lorraine kind of dresses like it's the 40s, which is very endearing. And
well, so does their daughter a little bit, though.
A little bit, yeah. Well, she's got to be a weirdo, right? Like, to grow up in that house, like, how could she not be?
Let's be fair, yeah.
But yeah, it starts and takes place in somewhere in Pennsylvania. I forgot where it was, but it starts like 1986. Like, all right, this is the 80s. Things are dirty. things are dirty. You're in Pennsylvania. Exactly. There's smog going on everywhere.
Yeah, there's big factories. Look at them all. There was a lot of that. But no, I like that. It did a good job setting the scene.
Yeah. Anything else, Pete, before we jump into spoilers here?
I feel we've been flirting with a bit of spoilery stuff anyway, so I think we should probably just dive in.
Okay. So folks who are new to the podcast, we're going to hop into spoilers now. If you haven't seen Conjuring Last Rites, we suggest you hop off now, but make sure to give the show a follow so when you do see it, you can hop back on and listen to our spoiler talk.
Yes, you'll want to hear it.
Also, make sure to jump back in at the end, hear about our next project.
Yeah, just keep jumping in.
I keep telling you. Keep jumping in and out. I don't think it adds plays to our data.
Yeah, we're not trying to juke the numbers or anything. don't work anyway.
Okay, so spoilers.
All right, spoilers from here on out.
So the one thing I want to jump right into.
Okay.
Lorraine, she's in the house for about 5 minutes, and she's like, "Okay, I mostly haven't figured out what's going on."
Yeah, you've seen a pretty good job.
You've seen Conjuring 2. This is a bigger entity using these smaller ghosts as like a facade.
They did it again.
Right? I've seen this before. Like, I've had a lot of experiences, 1,000 cases. There's no way they did 1,000 cases, by the way. That's insane.
That's a fucking lot of cases.
That's like, I don't know, it's like 6 cases a month? Like, what are they just flying through these things?
Well, I mean, they said they've been doing it since they were very young. So, like, because when was the first...
1964 was their first case, and this is 22 years.
It's only 22 years, yeah. Like 1,000 cases.
It's a lot of cases.
22 years.
Are you counting, like, phone calls? Or you're saying...
She must have been, right?
It's probably, like, mice.
Yeah, so they banged off 5 in one day, where they're just like, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit. Yeah. Oh, that's a really cursed piece of wood.
Well, anyway, so she says... There's 3 entities that these people keep seeing. It's all related to a case where this used to be farmland. The wife had an affair. The husband killed her and her mom or whatever. Yeah. But there's something bigger in control behind here.
Right.
We find out, like, it's the mirror or whatever. Do we ever, like, actually get a backstory about what that demon was?
No, and that's one of the things where I'm always, like, saying I'm confused about motivation, because at the start of the movie, and that's something I wanted to get into, but I didn't know if it was really spoilery, because the actors that they cast as Ed and Lorraine at the start, I thought were really good.
Well, for a second, I thought that they were being de-aged.
That's exactly what I thought.
Especially like the actor who was portraying Patrick Wilson, really looked like him.
Because I was the same. I was like, oh, they're gonna do the de-aging stuff. I hope it doesn't look really lame.
I'm glad they didn't,
because they
turned around
and I was like, that doesn't look like de-aging. It doesn't even really look exactly like them. And then I was like, that's different actors, but they had the performances down pat. I thought they did really well.
They did a really good job being like the characters, but young and naive.
Yeah. So I was wondering, do you think, and not to get too off topic, we'll get back into your question in a second, but do you think they will go and do like the early Warren stories in the future and then use those different cast members?
Well, the whole movie, I thought they were doing a pass the torch thing.
Yeah,
where it's going to be the daughter and her
I feel like they
husband.
could have a pass it off to the daughter and the husband, who I did not really like very much. We didn't even talk about him, but
you didn't like Tony?
I didn't like his character, no.
I didn't like his haircut.
I think it might just be the actor. I thought he had a face in the way he was playing it where I was like, is he going to turn out to be like a creep? Because he seemed creepy to me. Like he was going to turn out to be like not nice dude. So this is a not nice dude pretending to be a nice dude, but I think it was just the actor. I just had bad first impressions, I guess.
I feel bad agreeing with you, but
it might have been mostly his hair, though. You were right.
Like I
just seemed like they were setting him up a whole lot, and I was like, why are they setting this guy up so much? But it might just be because he's the new Ed for the next Conjuring movie.
Well, he was in some really good scenes, but it was mostly the other actors that I think were providing the juice for those scenes.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't the strongest actor, to be fair. But no. So going back to your question anyway, because. So they start off, and it's like they're young and she's pregnant, and they go to find this mirror, and whatever demon is in this mirror wants their unborn baby.
Yeah,
for what? For reasons.
Okay, so
for what reason?
So and that's what I thought, but like we never got a backstory for that.
They didn't even explain why they were there, right?
Because there's a couple times where the daughter thinks that it's Annabelle, right? But it's not. It has nothing to do with Annabelle, right? Like it's just messing with her head.
Yeah, that's why I thought they were going to do the whole like it's all of the.
It's actually just been Annabelle this whole time.
No, I thought they were going to do the endgame thing and just have like all of the spirits that have ever been around just show up for a scene when they did the Annabelle scene. I was like, oh really? And I think that was when the lady took the picture when Annabelle first showed up.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's Annabelle. Take a picture. I was like, come on, man.
Oh, that's
you know they're going to be an Annabelle. I mean, you know Annabelle's going to show up in this movie. You don't have to take a picture.
Okay, so I'm glad that we're both sort of in the same boat. That like, I think the story is pretty clear. It just seems strange that each of the previous movies they give at least like some backstory of like what this thing is.
Yeah.
But like it's just like, oh, it's the demon that lives in the mirror, and this is the fight that they ran away from.
I thought it was very interesting as well that they didn't really show the demon. Like at the start when Lorraine's giving birth, it's kind of crawling on the ceiling.
Yeah.
But other than that, you didn't really see it. It just showed it as reflections of them.
Yeah.
Like, did I miss it?
No. Well,
which I thought was an interesting choice.
Where I thought the movie was gonna go, and like that opening hospital scene was absolutely terrifying, then heartbreaking, and then like,
oh man, yeah.
Like jubilant, because like you really kind of feel like like that's a great depiction of a miracle that just happened.
Yeah, very true.
And
at the same time, though, it wasn't very shocking that the baby survived.
No, yeah, like I've seen the other Conjuring movies. Yes,
there was a part of me was like, oh, did they just like never mention that they lost a daughter before they had another daughter?
Well, for a second, I thought maybe that's the way it was going to go.
Yeah, I was like, they're never going to just start the movie with a dead baby. That would be grim.
Man, it was grim enough the way that it was doing
lots of grim stuff in this one.
But it starts mirroring. It starts mirroring like that. Like it sort of does it twice, where like Judy is very sick in the bed, and the mom's like coddling her.
Yeah.
I had the thought that what if the entire time Judy has actually been inhabited by the demon. That's why she came back to life.
Yeah,
because the demon got in there.
Honestly, that is exactly how I read that first scene, because it kind of showed, like when she touched the mirror, and then it did like showed like zoomed into like the baby in utero,
right?
And I was like, oh, that's it being possessed,
right?
And then that's to your point. That's like that's why it didn't die. So I was like, oh, is it? I thought they were going to do the same thing where it's like this whole time, like
this whole time
laying in wait in this.
She's actually been a demon and she doesn't realize it, and like that concept is so scary. But then no, not really. She did like they like it did end up like it did possess her, but then she got like it possessed her the same way that it possessed
just because she went to the
Father Bishop or no Father Gordon.
Father gonna bite it.
Yeah. Which I feel bad. We were so rude to him for his performance in the third Conjuring movie. That like
was he? I think he was in every movie, wasn't he? Every Conjuring movie.
I think so. And he's just like
he was a mainstay.
Just not very memorable or whatever. Like, but
poor guy.
They had the cop from the first one come back.
That's what I feel like we're jumping around a bit too much. But before we move on to that, I just wanted to say, going back to I thought I don't understand. why this demon was so obsessed with getting Judy. And then because it was like, oh, we've waited this long to finally get Judy, and then they immediately just tried to make her kill herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, so what is the end game? You just possess people, make them kill themselves. To what end? And why Judy specifically? Why did you wait so long and not kill anyone in this family? Because you really wanted Judy.
Well, yeah,
it's like just to kill her. Like, what are you gaining from that? I'm so confused.
It's such a that's a very good point. Like, it was a great narrative device where
definitely
where they realized that because Lorraine asked that question, what has it been waiting for?
Yeah,
it's been wanting to cause enough attention to get the Warrens there.
Yes,
I'm interested.
Yeah, that's a really interesting
because it wants Judy to kill herself. Like, yeah, that's not really that. Like,
no, it would be, why though?
It would be much more interesting if like it just wants to possess Judy. Like, well. And more straightforward, you can understand its motivations there. Like it really wanted to kill that baby back in the day, and now it just wants to kill the lady that the baby turned into.
Yeah, I just don't. It just seems like this might be a me problem because I said it last time. It's like I can't get into the mindset of this demon. Like maybe you're not supposed to.
Yeah, these demons need like a project manager. Like what are the goals you're trying to achieve?
Just give me a top level. Just give me a top level one-liner of what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, and then
if that is just I really want to kill this lady Judy, and that's all I care about. I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's your thing and that's the only reason you have, then fair play to you. But it just feels a bit odd.
Yeah.
Like the amount of effort that demon had to put into to do that. And what is it gaining from it, really?
I really well, on one hand, I really liked how they defeated it at the end was the three realizing that the three of them need to work together.
Yeah. It was like them all hugging at the end of Thunderbolt. Spoiler for Thunderbolt.
Sort of, yeah.
It's like we're gonna beat him with love, the love of our family.
But on the other hand, I have a hard time understanding exactly what it means when they're like, because they're tying it into like facing your fears and not running away from your fights or whatever.
Yeah, that was definitely where it was going at the end, right? Like, stop. Like, even though I've told you to run away from, hide from it your whole life, no, don't. Just let's attack it together and finally defeat its evil. But like, why does that work?
Yeah, like I feel like it still just doesn't sit quite right with me.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Judy hasn't been in the thick of things this whole time, right? Like,
yeah. She hasn't really been hiding that much.
And the Warrens will say, like, they've said so many times, like, we don't run away from fights. Oh, except for that one time that we did. So, like, it's not really a lesson they have to learn. They just have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like you're like 12 and you run away from a fight, but then you don't run away from a fight the rest of your life. Like, am I going back and fighting that kid that I should have fought when I was 12?
That's a great point, Trevor. I mean, if he comes back and tries to murder you, I guess.
Oh, probably. Oh, no. He's probably like, he's
over it.
He's probably dead in a ditch by now.
Or he's just past it. He doesn't care anymore. Yeah. But what I wanted to get into, you mentioned James Wan at the end there. I feel like when I was saying it reminded me of Endgame a bit. I felt like that was their Tony Stark funeral scene.
It was sort of
spoilers for Endgame because when it did that, because it specifically lingered on specific people, and I was like, oh, these are people from the other movies that I should recognize, and I definitely do not. Did you recognize any of them? Because I didn't, and I was like,
I recognized faces, but I was having a hard time. Like, and this movie's definitely for the hardcore fans who would recognize that.
And I think it's probably because I've watched so many of them so close together. I'm like, I remember that actress, but I can't remember which Conjuring movie she was in.
Yeah,
because like, was any of the British people from the Conjuring 2 there?
I think that's what the one lady
and the girls maybe. And I was like, because then they would have aged as well, so I wouldn't have remembered them because they don't look the same.
There's been so many people with so many children across these movies. It's tough to remember.
Not memorable, faceless people getting terrorized. But yeah, I was definitely like, oh look, I'm like, why would they all be at her wedding? That's so weird.
I did like this like Pennsylvania family. I thought they were all very good.
I thought it was a very like. I want to say real. It seemed like it was a very. It felt
very real.
It wasn't like this. There's no families like this. This is stupid. Like it was like it was just a very busy, like tons of kids, and some of them were assholes. Some of them didn't know what was going on.
I like that the two girls were kind of mean to each other, and
I loved how the dad was just kind of like. Well, I'm just gonna go to work and just like pretend everything's great all the time, and just let my wife handle everything.
It was so funny that there's like a heart-wrenching scene where the daughter says to the dad,
Yeah.
you don't care about
that
this
was
because it
brutal.
hasn't been happening to you, and
Yeah.
like either you don't believe us or you can't do anything to help
Yeah.
us. Like, which one is it? And
There's
then like
nothing he can say.
he just like looks down, and then of course later that night he has an episode, and then the next day they're like, okay, then now we're gonna deal with it because the fucking dad had an episode.
Oh, that's a good point. So did you take that to mean that he didn't believe him
Uh
until it happened to him?
I think so.
Oh, because I took it more as in like he's just like so emasculated he couldn't. There was nothing he could do to change any of it, and he like couldn't afford to even go to a motel. So he's just a bit like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation.
But like they could have always gone to the media, but then
Yeah, well,
Because-
they did. Go on, Larry King.
because it happened to him, he's like, oh, okay, now it's serious.
Right.
Now we got to do something.
Yeah.
Oh, so the part that got me is when the dad drops his glasses,
Oh.
and then he's
was
gonna go to put his glasses back on, but before he puts, and like the entire time, I think the whole theater is waiting for the glasses to go on.
Yeah, there was a
for them
few
to see
scenes
it.
like that where he did a really
But-
good job.
But there was a jump scare with the face before he
Yeah.
did that, so
Yeah.
that's the part where I went, huh,
Yeah,
because
that might have been the one that got me too.
because it tricked you, it messed with the formula.
You know what though? I still
Excuse me.
still stick to my I still stick to what I always say about how as soon as you start showing the ghosts, it's just not as scary anymore. Like
Yeah.
like the three ghosts were very creepy. Like that scene is the jump scare stuff, and then just like showing like
Like the smiles, yeah.
half a second of a creepy smiling face. But then as soon as it's like fucking Timu Marilyn Manson chasing after you with an axe,
It sort of was.
I'm
yeah.
just like, really? Like that's not scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when one of them is like under Judy's wedding dress, like that was fucking terrifying.
That whole scene with all those mirrors was so well done. It must have been really difficult to shoot. I don't know how they
I could only imagine. Yeah. Or unless there were just never any mirrors there.
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
just all CGI.
That's
But
probably what
that
it
would have
was.
been brutal to do as well, though, to compose. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was really well done. So claustrophobic and creepy.
Yeah. So I'd say a fitting end to the series
Yeah.
and like a high quality entry.
I was waiting for Patrick Wilson to get the guitar out, and then he sort of does at the end.
Yeah,
Although I think it was a different actor portraying them being old because they were never in focus.
Well,
But he still got his guitar out for his great grandkids.
the ending to this movie is exactly like the ending to Raising Arizona. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't think I have.
And actually, it's also sort of the exact same as the ending to 25th Hour, like the Spike Lee movie, where it's one character saying like they had a dream or they had a vision for the future, and like just like kind of recounting what they saw for the future, but like it's like beat for beat exactly like Raising Arizona.
Right. Did it kind of counteract that though? Where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna live till we're very old and have this great family. Then the credits come, it's like, and then he had a stroke and died 5 years later.
How old do you think he's supposed to be?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Do you think he's 50?
He must
at
be,
that
right?
birthday
Like,
party?
He must be. Yeah, it must be.
Which I have to guess is probably Patrick Wilson's actual age. You know, they're trying to make him look
He looks
older.
good. He does look good though.
Yeah, well, they both look good, but like they're kind of making her look older here because she just has like she dresses like a Victorian doll.
It's not that hard, I suppose. Yeah, so I guess maybe he gets another 25 years out of it. I don't know. Because what did he say? Yeah, he was like 74 when he had his stroke.
It's just like, yeah, Ed Warren died later that night. I swear
at the end when they were leaving the family and it did the credits to explain what happened to the family, and then it panned to the Warrens like looking happy. I thought they were gonna do like from the Superman movie where it's like later that day Ed died of a heart attack. I was like, that would be incredible if they did that. Well, unless they did
it's tough with real life characters.
The ending instead.
Well, and after the movie ended, they did a lot more like real life video clips and stuff.
I did like that though. Yeah,
they really look like communists. Like, they look like they're full of shit. Like they're just like they go and chase every ghost story and put themselves front and center.
And it seemed like they spent way more time like going on TV and talking about it. And
yeah,
trying to big themselves
of course.
Up. But you know what? That's fine. Talking about the movies, not the real people. I'm sure they were lovely.
I don't think so.
And he did not look anything like Patrick Wilson. I'm just saying.
she looks close enough to Vera Farmiga.
Yeah, sure. That's how you say
it. Which I've been avoiding training this whole,
no, I'm not even
project.
I'm not even gonna try.
But no, like Patrick Wilson's just like in incredible shape.
Yeah.
Pretending that he's having a heart attack while playing ping pong.
I do love that he kept those sideburns. Like he's had them since the 60s. He's
like
still
way into the 80s.
It's like he's not changed his hairstyle or his facial hair for 40 years, like or whatever it was, 20 years.
It looks good on him.
Yeah, man. Why don't mess with something that's working, I suppose.
So where do you want to do rankings at all?
I don't know. I feel like it's too early to do rankings, but yeah, like of the whole franchise or just of the franchise.
Yeah, because there's 10 movies now, right?
Yeah,
and
I can't rank 10 movies, man. It's too late.
I honestly think like there's like the top tier I really like, and then like mid tier of solid ones, and then ones that I'm throwing at the because they just wasted my time.
Yeah, and I think like
Annabelle and the Two Nuns are bad movies, I would say. Well,
yeah,
they just annoy me because they wasted my time.
I can't really argue with that. Although the Curse of
La Lorna kind of wasted my time too.
There was some weird stuff.
It was boring too.
That was just odd.
But I liked all the Conjuring movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say like when you said there's a top tier of like movies, at least all the Conjuring movies would be the top 4 movies would be all the proper Conjuring movies.
Yeah, like I think Conjuring 2, the first one, Annabelle Comes Home, then maybe this one would kind of be in that top tier.
Yeah. Oh, you put Annabelle Comes Home at high, eh?
I really like it.
Really?
Yeah. I
didn't love it.
I like the spooky shit going on in the Warrens' house.
Yeah, it was a bit too Teenage Babysitters Club for me.
Well, sure. That's what was scary about it.
Was it though?
I don't know. Well, so
yeah, that might be the one that we differ on.
But we differ on that one. I think we're pretty aligned.
I think other than that, yeah, we're pretty aligned. But it feels good, man. We did the whole Conjuring stuff.
So it's behind us. Well, good on you, Pete. You're the one who suggested this project, and you're a scaredy cat, and you got through it. So good job.
Yeah, I feel like I'm immune to them now. I've watched so many of them that they don't scare me as much. Although this one scared me more than the last few have. So
the movie theater will do that, though.
Yeah, I think so. Being in a big dark room.
So should we talk about our next project?
Yes. So you've been teeing it up all day, Trevor. Let's do it.
So Pete and I both read The Last Action Heroes, which is a great book about the action stars of the 80s and 90s, which I definitely recommend everyone read. And we kind of want to do a series sort of inspired by that, but also just like cool action movies to kind of mix things up. And we've mostly been doing things like going through franchises and stuff, right? But we want to do something a little more loose, thematic.
Broaden it a bit, right? Let's make it a bit more. Let's pick some specific things that we want to talk about.
Yeah, well, like it's sort of based around the fact that the remake of Running Man's coming out.
Yeah, it gets a little tenuous, that link, when you dig into it, but you know what? It's fine.
Like, it's an Arnold movie.
That's a remake of an Arnold movie, even though it's not really. It's more just the book. They're making the book again. It's not going to be anything like that Arnold movie.
But, we're both big action guys, and
we like watching it, we would actually do it.
Yeah, like we're both couch sloths, I would say, but who like watching action movies.
Go. Yeah, just to clarify. No, I'm no action man.
So I think we're gonna have about 10 episodes to goal, and we're gonna try to hit a different actor for each episode.
We're gonna do all the classic 80s action dudes.
So one thing we're gonna probably need everyone's help with is picking the right movie for each action dude.
Yeah. And do we have an official list of action stars that we're gonna do? I know we've got back and forth on it.
We had about 8 or 9.
Yeah, maybe
settled.
Maybe we'll post. People can suggest who they would like to see us do a movie, because you got the big guys, but there's a few that sometimes fly under the radar a little bit.
That's true. So let's get that posted.
Yeah, we'll do it. But yeah, obviously it's gonna be the big hitters. Your Arnolds, your Slides, your He's Jean-Claude's.
You're putting him third? Come on, you can't put him third.
Of course you can. Who would you put?
Willis.
Bruce Willis, yeah, I guess so.
Gotta put Willis and then Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, yeah.
Well, we have already covered a Jackie Chan movie.
Have we done anybody else? Which action stars from the From the 80s.
Well, it's not like we've done a lot of action movies.
No, but I mean, yeah. Well, there you go. So this will be all new stuff for us, for the pod at least. No, but we both love that stuff. So yeah, like I say, a bit of a tenuous link because I don't think the new Running Man movie is going to be anything like those movies. But you know what? I'm here for it.
Well, I like the idea of doing a more like thematic project as opposed to something that's like, you know, we're working through chronologically. Like we can curate this a bit better ourselves.
So I'd say there won't be any weeks where we're just like really struggling to come up with stuff to talk about the Nun II.
Well, talking about the Curse of La Lorna, it wasn't very fun.
Yeah, it's tough. So yeah, I'm sure we won't have any issues waxing lyrical about some of the next movies.
We'd still like to do that sort of thing again in the future because honestly, like watching the stinkers can be fun too because there's it's a good excuse to go through it and watch it.
And it really, like, honestly, if we hadn't done this project, like, I wouldn't have been very excited about this movie today.
I probably wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, you know, we probably would have seen...
It's just another horror movie, who cares?
We honestly probably would have seen The Roses.
Yeah, or something else, yeah. You might be right, you know. We probably would have skipped it. But you know what? I'm glad we did, because
it's been life-changing.
It was a fun, scary ride.
Now we each get to go to our respective homes and be scared walking inside.
Yeah, there you go.
Gonna look in the mirror the same way?
Oh, I'm never looking in the mirror again. In case a creepy version of me looks back. Creepier than I'm used to, I should say. Anyway, all right. So yeah, look out for that post and give us your opinions on who you want to see and which movies you want to see. Because that's the other thing. Like,
I think are we gonna just try to do one movie?
Yeah, I guess we don't have enough time.
It's gonna be tough.
I mean, I guess we could just say like one episode we just talk about one guy and say like, what are his best 5 movies?
No,
that would be too much. Because I actually want to watch
because
it.
we want to like have some homework involved.
Exactly. I want to actually go and watch them. So I can't watch all of Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies from the 80s.
I think making a tough choice is like, this is the one movie we're going to pick that personifies this person's career.
That's going to be really tough.
Yeah. Or like maybe we'll want to pick a movie where it knocks off a couple stars in one, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
If you were to do Rocky IV, for instance, you could cover Dolph as well.
You go. Yeah.
You kind of wanted to do a Dolph episode on yours.
Yeah, well, we talked about doing
I've never seen
Universal Soldier as well. That's a very good movie. I like that one.
Though I've never seen Flash Gordon before. Ooh. I've never seen it, so that could be an opportunity for that too. So it's tough. It's gonna get tough. Choices are gonna have to be made.
Well, yeah, and I think as well it'd be nice to try and pick some movies that are blind spots as well that I've never seen.
Well, I've never actually seen a Chuck Norris movie. I've never seen anything.
Yeah,
so
I don't think I have all the way through actually, apart from like Sidekicks and Expendables. But I don't know if you'd.
I guess
you'd call it. I don't know if you call it Expendables a Chuck Norris movie.
I've never seen Sidekicks, but I feel like we'd have to pick a more typical.
Yeah, like what was that one that
like Lone Wolf McQuade,
or that scene where he comes out the water with all the machine guns? It's like always referenced, but I've never seen that movie.
No, well, because he's like, no offense to Chuck Norris, who's going to strangle me in my sleep tonight, but he's very much like C-list kind of guy.
Well, yeah, he carved out his own niche. You know what? We're veering into the stuff we're going to talk about.
Well, honestly, like this stuff is just our bread.
We'll be here all night talking about Chuck Norris if we're not careful.
So we got to do Steven Seagal too, obviously,
definitely.
right? So,
okay. I don't know how we're gonna not do In the Siege, but we'll figure that one out.
We'll have to. Okay, we gotta cut this off here. But
yeah, that's what I mean.
I say everyone get excited for this sort of stuff.
Yeah, as excited as we are, and let us know. Comment on this episode, or just email us, or comment on our socials. You could find us.
Ring us up if you could find our phone numbers.
No, don't do that. Nice screen.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go. Let's call it a day. I'm too scared to get out the car is the real reason. Anyway, until next week, until we get into some hot 80s action, that's the final word.